Hi, Ann Cornick from Paintnporcelain. I'm here to teach beginners how to get started in China painting. And if you've been painting a while, join us, and we're looking for experienced painters to paint along as well. And today we're going to be working on blackberries. Blackberries to me have always been kind of intimidating. And it's because of all the little berries or in the big berry. And I always was afraid I wouldn't know how to do it. And so it just kind of looked worse than it was. I think you'll find though that it's not that hard, and that's why I put on here easy, because I had a teacher who, she would have told me that I had to take my smallest brush and I had to load it full load with the darkest color and then side load with the redder color and paint each one of these individually. Well, I'm not doing that. This is my first fire. And I want to tell you something about this. If you turn it over, you'll see I have holes. I have one here and one here in the back. If you get a fancy plate like this, always check the back. They were normally meant for putting up on the wall. And I got this from Estate, so it's an older plate. The one that I'm going to be painting on is the same way though. It has holes. And the hardest thing are the T-tiles. If you paint a T-trivet or a T-tile, the round ones, you know, a lot of them have holes, a lot of them don't. So you always have to check. Let's pretend you've never painted before real quickly, just so people can catch up if they're brand new and watching this. You're going to get some transfer paper. I like the red because it doesn't seem to smear like the black does. This is Saral, S-A-R-A-L. Then you're going to take and you're going to put the darker side of that on your piece after you've checked for the holes and made sure there's no tags on the back. And if there are holes to hang it, make sure that you put a little X up at the top with a Sharpie or something so that you know where the top is. And then place your line drawing on there and trace it. If you use a color pen, sometimes it helps. I did that on here, and it did help because I got called away and I wouldn't have known where I left off, and I didn't want to have to take it apart. But anyway, I was glad I did this in the transfer paper, because this was up too high. This was up like in here, and I thought I had pulled it down. So what I did was I just left the transfer paper on there, and I drew the same thing just like a quarter of an inch down so that it would fit better. And I like this better, so that's what I did. Now, colors. I know I'm trying to stick to colors that all beginners would have, because the idea of this program is really for beginners. But I have to tell you, the colors, to get the colors on this Blackberry, it's really important that you have kind of a berry color and kind of a blackish color. So you can see here, if I hold it up real close, this is my berry color. That's American Beauty. And this is my blackish color, and that's Black Grape. That's what I used. And if you have it, it's great. If you don't, I'd never used American Beauty before, but I saw it suggested on several different studies that I had, and I used it, and I love it. Now, I don't think I'd actually like it on a rose. It's a little too purpley for me, but I love it for grapes, for pansies, for the berries. It would be terrific. So these are the colors I have. I have American Beauty. If you don't have it, you could use a pink. And Black Grape, if you don't have it, just take like a dark purple, whatever darkest purple you have, more of a violet, you know, more of the blue purple, and mix a little black with it and see what it looks like. It's more black than purple, but it's really pretty, and it looks great on grapes. I almost forgot about it, and then I saw it needed some certain color, and I didn't have it, and I tried Black Grape, and it worked. So, or anything you have close. I have chartreuse. I have warm brown green. I probably should have put moss green on here too, because I think I like it with the leaves. I am mixing yellow and blue. We're going to do the background as well as the berries today. And the reason we're going to do that is because this particular piece sort of lends itself to that. It just, when you do it that way, it really makes it pretty. And it's not difficult. So this is kind of a beginner's background. Now, one of the things about the background that I'm going to do with you, though, that is, I don't think as much done these days as it used to be done back in the 70s is I'm using 3 colors. I always swore I wouldn't do that. But I'm using the yellow in the middle. I'm using like a turquoise or a baby blue over on the sides. And then this American Beauty is all the rest of the way around. You may have to use a little ivory in here, or take and really pat out either with your finger or a silk or one of those sponges, the center section of it. Now I'll turn it towards you so you can see. Up here is my X at the top. It's like straight up here. I know you really can't see the top. Okay, I'm going to start with the background colors. I'm starting out with my American Beauty, and I'm going to put American Beauty here and down in through here, and that's about it. So I'm just going to start. I'm doing my American Beauty first for obvious reasons. You don't want to have to mess with the leaves and things after the fact. So for those of you that haven't painted a lot, now see, on this plate, every plate is different, ladies and gentlemen. So on every plate, you're going to find what worked on one may not work on another as easily. And if that's the case, like this is a little too slippery for me. I cleaned it off with isopropyl alcohol before I started, but I don't care for that brush on there. So I'm going to try my 1/2 inch. I think it'll work a little better. Am I still in there? Yeah, you can still see me. And yeah, that works much better. Always, if you're having problems, it might be the brush, it might be the paint, it might be a number of them, but always try the brush first, because it can be the brush, and the brush is the easiest fix. Okay, so I put a little purple up in there, or American Beauty. I'm going to put a little, well, yeah, I'm going to put a little over in here. And I just blotch it on, you know me, and then I kind of work it in. And I go back and forth. I'm on the end of my brush, and I go this way. You can pull it into the leaves, not too far though, please, because you really don't want this color on your leaves. You can put it in on your berries, though. That's not a problem at all. And then I'm going to come down here, and I'm just going to keep turning my plate. I haven't decided what I'm doing for the edge of the plate yet. I think I'll wait till I get the second fire on this other one and see what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to put it across the bottom here. Now, maybe you don't want to, because you might be afraid you're going to... See, I've got a wide rim, so I'm not afraid I've got a place to lay my hand. But if you've got a plate that you don't have a wide rim, hold off on doing the bottom until you get the wide rim, or until you get down there, because you may need to have that extra space. Now you see it's a little intermittent down there. I can fix that later. I'm just trying to get the basic color laid in. And then I'm going to put a little bit of blue. I'm going to put a little bit of blue up in here where I left this space. I'm going to put it right over my purple, or my color there, and then I'm just going to keep wiping it around. That way it gets kind of almost like a watercolor look to it. And then over on this side, I'm going to do the same thing. I might even bring it in on the leaf a little bit, because I kind of think I might like that. Blues and greens always work well together. I'm putting a little blue down here. I said I wasn't going to, but I am, because I think I need, I think I need to repeat the blue at least 3 times. That might be a little too much, and I can tone that down with the other color later, but I'm just putting some down here. There we go. Okay. And then in the middle, I have a yellow. My mixing yellow is really bright. Look at that. Isn't that ridiculous? I don't get it. I've never had a mixing yellow this bright. And it's just this particular vial, I guess, that I have. See, I just slap it on a few places and then just lightly pull it across. There we go. And that's my background. I'm just taking the American Beauty now, and I'm just sort of wiping a few places where it's a little bit rough. And then, of course, I will go around the edge. I think I'm going to use a Kleenex, because I have plenty of room here. And I'm just going to go around the edge, clean it up. So I'm going to use my chartreuse, full load of chartreuse. This is what a full load is. It's a full load of chartreuse. And I'm going to take a half load where I go in like this, just pick up a little bit on the side of warm brown green. And this guy is obviously under this one. So whichever one is behind is where you're going to be putting this darker color. And you're just going to be, they're kind of comma strokes, kind of almost like a broken comma stroke. You're kind of just putting the dark in and pulling it across like that. And then while I still have it loaded or reloaded, I'm going to do it here. I'm going to do a little comma stroke down to the middle. And a little comma stroke, a little, what is this? I don't know. A little one of these. Okay. And then I'm going to come over here where this leaf is. I'm just doing the darkest parts of my leaf because I'm using my warm brown gray. So I have full load of chartreuse, side load of warm brown gray. My half inch or my number 10 brush. You want to use a big brush for these leaves. There we go. I'm going to put a little more dark on because I want it darker down here. There we go. And then I'm going to turn around to this guy over here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put the dark on down near the bottom. And a little dark there. I really want to try to only touch my leaves once. So again, full load of chartreuse, but not quite as much of a side load of the brown green. And I'm going to start here just because it's closest to me. And I just kind of follow that. You see, it's a sawtooth is what they call it, that jaggy edge on it. I'm going to follow that. My light is coming this way. This is going to be darker. And then you see how I've got like a there and a there. I don't like that. I'm going to just feather it a little. There we go. I do have a little blue here. I don't know if I like it. So I'm going to take a side load of the light green and just maybe put a little light green there. Okay, and here I'm going to take full load of the light green, that chartreuse, and side load, and I'm just doing the edges of these guys because they just need a little color on the edge. My brush is, as you can see, splitting. Don't like that. I've got my brush. I've got a little oil on it. I cleaned it, and I'm just going to wipe out where I think, if you look at it this way, see, I'm looking at it there. Can you look at it that way? So you're going to have a little light coming through here, but I would pull it this way. There. You've got a little light up here, and you got a little light there. That's good. Then take your dark green. Now, the way I do my, I just tap that guy down the middle and tap him this way and tap him this way. Tap him here, here, here. Let me get a little more green on here. It's a full load of green on the edge. There, 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 there. That won't hold up too much for this. You know what? I don't like this guy down here still. So I'm going to take and do this. Watch. I've got too much dark on this side. I want to have more veins like coming through. So I'm just going to do that. And then I'm going to take, so I just wiped in between them to sort of create veins. And then I'm going to take my dark and I'm going to come down the middle like this, and there, and there, there. I think that'll help it. I'll put a little more dark up at the top here. Shouldn't play with it this much. Should not play with it this much. As soon as you start playing with it, you're asking for trouble. And here I need more dark. There. And here I need more dark. Okay. I do the up part like this. Okay. And then I just come down and do the jagged part. He's kind of too small to do it. There. I need a smaller brush. At a certain point, you need a smaller brush. I'm going to take my This is a 6. I'm going to try this. Full load of chartreuse, a side load of the other. Yeah, this will make it easier. I can tell by the feel. And I'm going to come down here, come across here, turn it upside down. I know everybody freaks when I do this. And you're just going to follow it down. Broken strokes down to the bottom. And then maybe one over there. And that gives you your leaf, especially when there are these sawtooth leaves like this. Doing the same thing here I did with the other. I'm using a little more of the lighter green, a little less of the darker green, and I'm only doing the very tip because the rest will be there when it fires. See? Even though it doesn't show up a whole lot, it will be there and you'll be able to figure it out. With the blackberries, I'm going to start with the darkest color. I'm only side loading my number 6. And I'm going to decide where the depth is. So, you see these berries here? It's going to be darker there, right in here, there, that side because the sun's coming from this way. In here because it's rounded, and on this side. And this one's probably going to be one of my lightest in this one. Now remember, they're rounded, so you can put a little bit of depth on the edges, and that will allow them to really look cool. So I'm going to turn this guy, and I'm going to put, this is my black grape. You almost could just use regular black, but leave a little of it. Don't put it, all the way around. Just put it where the shadow would be. Pretend you're the shadow. Just peek out here and there like that. See? Same thing over here. This one's behind. So you're gonna come down like that, but you're only gonna peek out right there. Maybe a little right there. Okay. And this one, he's in here. So he's gonna be darker there. And then you're going to put a little over here. I think this one needs it a little here. And if you do a curve, it will make your berries more curved. I know these aren't curved berries, but. And then I might just put a little here for a little color. Then look at them. See if you like them. I don't like this here. I need to pull it off a little. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing on this little guy here. I'm going to do it here. I'm still using my number 6. Now, this part here is going to have the depth and this part here. So I have to turn it because you always paint towards yourself like this. And just pretend you're the shadow. You only want to peek out a few places. And look at it. You can really see the shadow when you do the shadow first. I'm going to use the stump that we had from before. I'm just wiping these guys out. If you have a Q-tip, you can use that too. Because I want them to have a white showing through. Okay, so now these 3 are just sort of hanging there. So the light's coming this way. The dark goes down here. It goes down here, right here. Come here, you. Ah, nuts. Don't you hate it when it won't cooperate? And here. Okay. Alrighty. Now we're going to take the American Beauty, side load on your 6, just like we did before. And you're basically going to fill in the rest of it, except you might want to leave a little bit in the middle. And the only reason I say that, you're going to have to create these other little berries on there, so you almost have to fill in everything. So you're just going to go around and start filling in. Leave a little white, just a little white. You can make this as dark as you can manage. It doesn't seem to want to go very dark for me, so I know it turns out okay. Here. Oh, that's a good darkness there. Maybe I just need to work it into the brush a little more. There we go. we go. They almost like grapes, aren't they? There we go. There we are. There we are. And then these three little guys down here. I'll take a little American Beauty here and see if I can just... There shouldn't be a line. That drives me crazy when there's a line. There, that's a little better. Okay, there shouldn't be a line there. There should always be a little... There should always be, the stem should not create a line. This is the best brush for this. This is a pointer. It's a number 2. This is actually the Jane Houston pointer that I have. And it's perfect for this. The other thing you'll probably need, you can use either one, but I prefer, obviously, I prefer my Paintnporcelain. But you could also use the end of this, the wedge end, or you could use the pointed end of this, whichever you feel more confident using. It's a matter of taste. You could even use your stump if you prefer to use your stump. I think it'd be a little big for this. This is a stump. This is what we learned they are, like little cardboard pens with ends on them. And so, okay, we're going to start with the guys in the back and we're going to work our way forward. I put a little oil on my brush and I put a little bit of the color on my brush and I'm just doing a circle here. Oh, the color was a mistake. Circle here, a circle here. You have to keep wiping it off. A circle here. I do the outside ones first. A circle here. A circle here. And now I'm working towards the middle. Okay. So you have your back guys. Now you take your Paintnporcelain and you just sort of, almost like with the corn, remember the corn that we did? Oop, don't like that. I know they look weird. I'm going to do this guy. Circle here, circle here, circle here. Let me try it without wiping out, see if it works better. Might. Circle here. Whoop, whoop. Circle, 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 circle. And a circle. Okay, now let's try just wiping them out and see if that is better. Sometimes one works better than the other. I gotta get closer. I'm only doing a little C on the side facing the light. I don't like the dots there. Call in the cavalry. I have this itty bitty, teeny tiny brush. It's a square number 2. And I'm just going to use it to pull some of these that I don't like back into place. That other brush made it too much of a line. And then I'll take this and make them a little, come here, you. Yeah. Now I'll take this and make it a little, there we go, that's better. There we go. Okay. I know they don't look like much, do they? And you go, how the heck can that be what that's going to be? They looked so pretty before. Why is she wrecking them? Okay, and here, 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 here. Here, here, like that. Now, hopefully you didn't put these dark red lines in that I have, because they bug you. They bug your eye to no end. I did not have them on here, and that's the reason this one came out so much nicer looking, because I didn't have to fight with those lines. So please, if you don't need to put the lines on, don't put the lines on. Don't draw it in unless you really are having trouble seeing it. Okay, let's do this guy. And we'll do this guy here. We're wiping it off as we go, wiping it off of the brush, because we want the white in the middle. There's a nice white one in the middle. Whew, this is the tedious part, people. Don't give up. This is what'll get you what you want. And it may look weird now, but when you fire it, I can't even squint my eyes at it to see what it's going to look like when I fire it. Sometimes I can. It will look much different. So I did those, and now I'm going to go back and do this. Wipe that off. This. These are little C's that are just giving you the outline on the side that's facing the light. And then if you need to, you can take your longer brush and go back and just soften some of those edges. Don't forget to sign your name on this one. If you remember to sign it now, then when you put the extra couple of layers over it, it won't be quite as obvious. And it'll blend in with the background a little better, especially if you have a wide border like this. And this one, I'm going to do this one. The middle one is the brightest. There we go. Now, they shouldn't be completely round, so I'm trying to bring them out. And it's hard for me because of the red being so strong. But if you have it so the red isn't so strong, they really should be more like, this guy's a good example. They're a little more elongated, more of an oval. So, you know, if you want to put a little guy down here or over here, just to give them a little more of an oval, that's fine. This is the bigger eraser, and you may find you have better luck with the bigger eraser. So you just have to decide what works for you. See, if I use the bigger eraser, but you have to really wipe it down every time. Sometimes you're just doing a half a berry, sometimes you're doing a whole berry. You have to decide which one's on top. Here, let me just turn it so you can see it a little better. Now, in order to mix your oil for your pen, here's the green. A little from that side, there we go. Oh yeah, that's gonna be good. Okay. All right. I'm gonna use the red to write my name. Now, make sure you don't get this little hole. See the little hole there? Don't cover it. And you're just gonna start from here. You're gonna wanna go alongside of the red line because otherwise you can't tell if you covered it or not. So you see how I'm going alongside the red line there to see if I've covered it or not? Okay, you can also do this if you want. Sorry about that. You can do a little bit of, a little bit of this, a little bit of this. Tiles on an angle there. There we go. You can add in some of your veins if you want. Keep them light. Don't do them too dark. I don't even know if you can see mine. Then here I'm going to add this little guy. Good. And here I'm going to add this little guy. Good. And here I'm going to add this little guy. Oh, ran out. See how I'm going next to the line so I can see? If I go on the line, I can't tell when I run out. Then I get really mad. I take it out of the kiln and surprise. And then these guys, I think I'm going to fix them a little. There we go. And they should have little stems on them. That one should. That one should. This one I might do a little bit of a, oh, come here you. There we go. You can just add any stems you want, any veins you want. This is the time to do it. You can do it with fancy oil. You can do it with your regular oil. I just wanted to prove to you that you don't have to go out and buy special oil to get this kind of a result. You can easily use your pen oil, your mixing oil, to get pen oil out of it. It might be a little of the experience that you need, but this way you have it. You might want to buy the real stuff for a while, see how it works, and then you could fake it without any problem. Okay, I think I'm pretty comfortable with that. So this is how it turned out. And I see some spots I'm worried about. I have a little too much dark right there, so I might remove that up in there. See that right there? I might just go through with my liner and fix that. But other than that, I'm going to fire this, but it should come out more like this. That's what we're hoping for. So pick up those brushes, keep painting. I hope you enjoyed the program, and I hope you'll take a minute to subscribe so that other people can learn more about China painting and we can get the word out to more people. You also can look at the links below. My Paintnporcelain.com website has a lot of freebies and printables for new and experienced painters, as well as studies, supplies, and even some of my hand-painted china. So thank you again, and I'll see you next time.